Thanks for sharing that really openly. And yeah, we didn't really discuss, how open we can get here. So I think you kind of lay it out there. There's no full stops or whatever we call that. Um, yeah, so a few things that came up there is consent and boundaries. So you know that I work in that field, and consent and boundaries is something that I've really realized that people don't get in the animal world, like fully. Like it's not even talked about. The word consent and boundaries is now getting really popular outside of the sexual conscious community. It's becoming more, in schools and therapists. It's really becoming a thing, and it's fantastic. But it hasn't merged into this animal realm or the plant world realm. And I've been like, wow, okay, this is what people are really missing. And it's great that we have a label for it now, consent and boundaries, whereas before it was a bit grey, it was just like, they don't like that, but like we decide whatever we want to do. And the other thing is the animal communications. So, people don't really have to have deep empathy for an animal to get consent and boundary. So that's one thing that I think people would be like, well, I don't really want to listen to them. I don't really care. And that's okay too. But like with this context of the cattle, like cattle are not our dogs. Of course, there is some in our country that are in the world that are people treat them like dogs and they're really like kept as a pet. But in a general concept, they're not. They are a business, and it is a functionality and a food source and business. Yeah, did I say that word? Politics. I think politics is so big there. And so like there's a disconnect automatically there because they don't want to connect with their heart, really, because it's very hard to connect with your heart and have to send something off to the abattoir to get murdered. Like, would you do that to a family member or best friend? So naturally, as much as so many farming people, I'm going to talk about, because that's what we're talking about, farming people love their animals. Like they will sit there and they'll say, we love them, we care for them, we look after them really, really well. But there is a level of connection there that they cannot go into, you know they just can't, because it's going to be like too heartbreaking to kill, what is it, 130 animals every year, or sell them off to, it's like slavery, basically, is what we're talking about here. It is just another form of slavery. So really fascinating subject, and I think it's really good that you brought up about reflecting into your own family stuff.